Salam. How you doing, man? Will that chair work for you right there?
Yeah, any chair works.
Fred, can you sit right there, Fred?
Oh, yeah.
You sure? ماشي. لا خليه هنا. You're fine. You can sit right here.
Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. وصل. Ayub bhai, did you lose your keys? Sorry. Give me the bakshish. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Assalamu alaikum everybody. How y'all doing? MashaAllah. How y'all doing? Alhamdulillah. I just met a young brother. He told me I'm doing awesome. I said there's no better than alhamdulillah. Right here is my man Fred. Brother Fred is 70 years old, accepted Islam 3 days ago. So Fred, we want to welcome you to the community. And after I'm done, you and I will go in the back and chomp it up a little bit.
Okay.
But Fred came in to the office and he said, I believe that there's no God but God. I said to him, he said, I want to be Muslim. I said, okay, so say, I believe that there's no God but God. He said, I believe that. Then I said, say that there's no messenger, that Muhammad is his messenger and servant. He said, what?
I said, I believe. I do.
So I believe that. I said, so Fred has brought a new addition to taking the Shahada, which definitely would fall under Al-Bid'ah Al-Hasana, which was a beautiful statement, man. And it's great to have you. And how he came to the mosque is that there were some Muslims on the train who set a good example.
Moses and Angel.
Yeah, and he was appreciative of their treatment, and then we welcome you to this family. This is your family.
Thank you,
Fred. Now, I've been here 100 days. So before we start, it feels like a lot longer than 100 days for good reasons. But I just want to thank all of you for the time that we've been here. And please forgive me, for any shortcomings that I might have. As you notice now, we're much more busier. So now when you want to come and holler at me, what do I tell you? I'm busy. I'm busy. So please forgive me, but I am really busy. You can't say that to your wife, but you can say that to the brothers and sisters. So please forgive us, but really thankful for everything that has happened in this 100 days. A great community in Boston, a wonderful city. I live in Dorchester, alhamdulillah, and I hope all the Muslims will consider moving to this neighborhood. If you want to complain about a neighborhood, then move to it. And contribute to its positive growth. Now, tonight is a beautiful night because we usually have tafsir, explanation of Quran every Friday Night Live. But tonight, we're not going to do that. We have a very special guest, a brother here, Danny. Many of you know his experiences in Syria and what he witnessed. And unfortunately, our community, to be honest with you, is not really able, except for their Syrian friends who don't like to say their names, to tell you a lot about what's going on. We had a girl who wrote an article for my website who said, just don't put my name on the article in English about what's going on. And the Prophet encouraged us, one of the qualities of a Muslim that is shared with other religions and other people is to care about people, to simply have concern for other people. Now, in the backdrop of the Arab Spring, I was in Egypt. I lived there for 7 years, and I was there when their revolution took shape and started. And it reminded me that in a post-modern world, after the fall of monarchies all over the world, every place has to experience its civil rights moment in order to kind of get back on board. And what we're seeing, alhamdulillah, in the Muslim world, and the Prophet said this, peace be upon him, he said, Takun, there will be a time of prophethood amongst you. And then after that will be the time of the Khulafa al-Rashida. And then he said, after that will be the time of the Muluk, the kings. And then he said, after that will come the time of dhulm, oppression, the autocratic system. And then after that will come a time where it will return to al-Khilafa al-Rashida. And I think we're seeing people now making necessary moves in their countries to demand their basic human rights. I remember in Egypt, the week that it kicked off, I remember that Friday morning, the big Friday, the Friday that everyone went to Tahrir Square except me. And I remember that I woke up and suddenly my cell phone was off. The internet was cut. The TV was off. And the only way you could get news was from your neighbors, and then seeing people walking from Medina Nasser all the way to Tahrir, right, to ask for their basic liberties. And I began to shed a tear. And the reason that I shed a tear is it reminded me of Rosa Parks. It reminded me of a struggle that African Americans as well as Native Americans, and that's not Newt Gingrich, by the way, struggled with for a number of years. And as Muslims, as a born American who converted to Islam, I think what I was worried about for the last few years was the divide between the immigrant and the indigenous Muslim community. Because as indigenous Muslims, we see if Abraham is the spiritual father of all Muslims, Malcolm X is the spiritual father of American Muslim converts. And that's why we named our school here Ella Collins, after his incredible sister, rahimahullah. And what I realized what was happening, it was beautiful when I came back to the States, is that an immigrant community that might not have been in touch with the African American struggle, the Puerto Rican struggle, the Latin American struggle, and other struggles that took place so that you can come to these lands. Now that divide was brought a little closer because a similar experience took place. And we say that's a great blessing, and hopefully we can build on that and slowly bring our hearts even closer together and appreciate that Masjid al-Quran was founded by Malik Shabazz. I mean, when you walk into Masjid al-Quran, you're walking in a place that was founded by a wali, someone who istashhada bi hayatihi, someone who bared witness with his life to the cause of justice. And that's something profound. And upstairs now we have a display about Muslim heritage in America. And our leader, Imam Farouk Abdullah, has a Quran that was printed some 200-something years ago in this country. So I think this is not only an opportunity for the Middle East, but I think this is an important opportunity for us to develop a sense of shared meaning as a community and to develop a sense of shared love. Now with that being said, my man Fred, I'm gonna ask you if you can just, someone can help my man Fred. There's a chair over here for him.
Yes.
Let's give it up for Fred. Well, I'll bring it to you. I'll bring it to you. MashaAllah. Where's our teacher, Saeed, the history teacher?
Thank you.
Come on, my brother.
Thank you.
This is a beloved brother to me. You know, there are people who never have bad days as far as you know it. You might see me sometimes in the office and I'm like, oh, right? But I've never seen this brother have that kind of moment. He's always smiling, always asking, how you doing? I'm not gonna big you up too much because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but this brother, wallah, I love him for Allah. And last week we heard a tradition that's deeply rooted in the Moroccan culture, because Danny, this is a cultural center also. So we try to celebrate the arts wherever they are. And a few weeks ago we had Brother Sadiq, who's, since he's been married, we don't see him on Fridays, if anyone can track him down, right? Which I can understand. Or his wonderful wife, Miranda. And this week, this is my man, and I'm gonna have to be careful when you sing this song, because this song means a lot to many of us here in America. But this is the anthem of the civil rights movement. And we had planned for him to sing this before you were coming. And that's what I thought it was beautiful. It's totally full circle before you speak to people and they ask you questions. And that's Sam Cooke's Change Is Gonna Come. And just as the Moroccans yesterday or last week celebrated their Sufi music, and that's how they medicated their hearts, there were certain songs from the 60s, 50s, and 70s that medicated the hearts of the struggle. So my brother Saeed is gonna sing Sam Cooke, Change is Gonna Come, and then we'll turn it over to Brother Atif, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, brother, and salam alaikum, brothers and sisters. It is indeed a pleasure for me to try to present this piece to you tonight. The struggle that the Imam speaks of is a struggle that is indicative of our life struggle from womb to tomb. And this song was written by the late great Sam Cooke in honor of the jihad that we all must go through. And that jihad is to remain constant and persistent in the deen. I was born by the river in a little shack. Oh Lord, just like a river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long, long time. Long time coming. But I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it is. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. Oh, I just don't know what's out there in that gray blue sky. It's been a long time, long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes it is. I go down to the movies. I take a trip downtown. Somebody tell me, boy, you better not stick around. It's been a long, long time, long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it is. Then I go to my brother. I say, brother, help me please. But he don't do nothing but knock me down on my knees. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I just don't know what's out there in that great big sky. It's been a long time Change gonna come. Oh, yes it is. Shukran, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, that was beautiful. And for those of you who know what that song means, to give you just a background, if you've seen the life of Malcolm X, Spike Lee's movie, right before Malcolm, Denzel Washington playing Malcolm, drives to the Autobahn, that's the song that was played. And this song has formed really the backdrop of social justice movements across the fabric of America. So we thank you, please, brother, for really sharing that with us and then opening up our window to our community, as is upstairs, a window to realize that there is a very, very beautiful, nuanced Islamic experience within America that goes many years back, and we appreciate you, man. Thank you. I'm gonna turn the mic over to Brother Atif Hardin, our Executive Director. MashaAllah, let's give it up for Atif. He's gonna take it from here. I just have to make one announcement to trust. My brother right here, Hassan, his father died this week. And he's asking all of you to pray for his father, Akram, who passed away, as well as his grandmother in the same week. And tomorrow he's taking his SAT. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to facilitate that exam for him and to strengthen him. And if you get a chance to give him a little hug, you know, tonight, he has a beautiful voice. He makes the adhan sometimes. And he reminded me, I apologize, to ask people to pray for his father, Akram, who passed away this week, rahimahullah.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Make sure when you're done.
Okay. I want to introduce to you tonight a brother named Danny Diam. Danny is from England, of Syrian descent. He's a photojournalist who's been sending back pictures all over the world of the horrific, brutal situation that's going on in Syria. I want to turn it over to him right now, but I want to say that when I became Muslim, when I was 18 years old, what drew me to Islam was the notion that oppression was worse than slaughter, that it was better to die to free yourself from oppression as a Muslim than to sit back and just live as a sheep. I appreciate very much what Danny's doing. And he's doing a lot at a lot of personal risk. But Danny, I want to say thank you. And please.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Danny Ahmed. My mom is British, my dad is Syrian. I just want to give you a little background of my life before I start. I lived in Homs all my life. It's a city in Syria. How our life was in Syria before we went out and started demonstrating was, if you ever mention the president's name in the street, you will be imprisoned. You will disappear. I had friends, just in the neck, just talking politics, went to prison 6 to 8 months and torture in prison. This regime was trying to teach us for the last 14 years about forgetting who we are, forgetting about Islam, and they want us to go the wrong way. They've been trying to build cafes, they've been trying to make discos in Homs and all Syria. They want us to live this way. They don't want us to live how we used to live 50 years ago. The first day we went out on the demonstration was in Homs. It was the first demonstration we ever went out. We went out in a mosque called Khalid al-Walid. It's a big mosque. And believe it or not, we all thought we were going to die that day. Even if we were 10,000, we thought we had this picture in our mind that the security guards would gather around us and shoot us down. Because we know what our regime did in the 1980s in Hama. 60,000 people in 1 month they killed. How we went out in the first demonstration was, we were praying Jummah prayer. After the prayer, we started all looking at each other, who's going to start the demonstration. No one knew how we were going to start it. There was this old man sitting on this chair. I'll never forget this. He just said, Allahu Akbar. 7,000 people started shouting Allahu Akbar and he went out in the mosque in the demonstration. And we started saying in Arabic, that means, with my blood and my soul, I will give it to you. There's another time in Syria that's been hit by the regime. They did not shoot at us straight away. They hit over 100 gas bombs and started shooting in the air. We kept moving, we kept going on. We stood there for 2 hours demonstrating. To tell the honest truth, we didn't say a word about the president. We were just saying we don't want the mayor. We were too afraid to say we don't want the president. Because we knew they would shoot us, they would kill us, they don't care. The first shot went that day and the guy's head right in front of me. This is how the demonstration started in Homs. When they killed that guy in the head, we started to say we don't want the president. We didn't care if we die or not. We would die for our country. It's a shahada where we've been trying, this is what we've been trying to get for the last whole year. I couldn't get it, it's my luck. In Ramadan, in the end of Ramadan, we kept demonstrating to the end of Ramadan every day. We used to do demonstrations like 10 minutes right in front of the security guards and then run away. Every day people get caught. This is the first 7 months. 10 die a day, 7 die the second day, 20 die the third day, 30 die the fourth day. This is how it's been going on for the last 7 months in the beginning. What has changed us in this revolution is, believe it or not, how we used to live before the revolution is, no one liked each other in Homs. We always used to stare at each other and fight, and none of us actually really prayed a lot. From the beginning of this revolution, people became like brothers in Homs and in Syria. No one fought with each other on the ground. Everyone went back to their religion and started praying again. In the end of Ramadan, I was standing with one of my friends actually. I've only met him like a month ago. One of these cars come by, threw a nail bomb and shot me. This guy who I've only met him 1 month, threw me on the ground, stood right in front of me and took 3 shots. He took a shot in the leg, and a shot in his stomach, and a shot in his right hand. He went to a different hospital, and I went to a different hospital. At these times, we could actually make it into hospitals, but we couldn't stay too long, because if we stayed more than an hour, the security guards would come and pick us up and torture us to death, or they'd shoot us in the head, in the hospital. After I got shot, 4 days after, it was the first day of Eid in the morning, I didn't even want to leave Syria. It was my parents who put pressure on me. All the guys told me, no, leave Syria and try to get our word out to the world. We want the world to know what's going on in Syria. I went out to England, I tried to get the news out. Every day I felt bad. My friends are being killed back home, and I'm sitting outside. I can't even hear one gunshot. Until now, I've lost more than 40 of my friends. 40 of my best friends have gone, died. Shuhada. I couldn't put up with it. I went back in Homs again, and I started again. I went back to join the Free Syrian Army. They did not let me join. They said, you don't know how to choose a weapon, and it's better if you go on the camera, you've got a good English accent, we want you to get the voice out of the world from inside. So that's what I started doing when I got back in Homs. But what I was really happy of seeing when I was back in there, even all the destruction and all the death, there's a smile on everybody's face. Even underneath the missiles and the bullet shots and the shots from the guns and the fight, day and night, people are still smiling. I nearly died 4 times there. A mortar bomb landed right next to me, did not explode. The rocket landed over there. The metal, the fragments from the rocket came right next to me, and we just stood there and laughed. We've got used to this. We've got used to losing our loved ones, losing our friends, and losing our families. If my brother dies right now in Homs, which he is in Homs, but if he was and he died, I would not cry. I've got used to death. We have got used to picking up body parts, putting them in sheets. We have got used to seeing dead people on the ground and not able to move the body, because the sniper will shoot you if you try to move the body from the street. You will get used to seeing an 8-year-old trying to cross the street, an 8-year-old, and he knows that he has to run so the sniper doesn't shoot him. That's an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old. And a woman, imagine a woman trying to run the street so a sniper doesn't shoot her. This is the life we're living right now. They have hit every single mosque we have. They have hit them with mortar bombs, tank shells, missiles. They have actually, when I was in there before I got shot, they went in one of the mosques and shot the people while they were praying. 7 died that day in a neighborhood called Wa in Homs. They would get these cars. If there was a demonstration, 1,000 guys in there, they'd throw a nail bomb. They don't care how many guys, they just want to stop it. Then uprise what we call the Free Syrian Army. These are the guys that defected and started defending us. And tell you the honest truth, is it wasn't for them, the guys wouldn't go out on demonstrations. Well, they're dying every day. Until now, the number is 100 a day. It's 80 to 110 a day, every day. We're becoming a number. I've been attacking the UN, I've been attacking America for the last 3 months. Last night I was thinking about it. Who I should really be attacking is the Arabs, the Saudis, the Qatars. Shouldn't they help us? Aren't they Islamic countries? Don't they say we're Islamic countries? Our mosques are being hit, the Quran is being burned, their sisters are being raped. We have over 800 women raped in Homs, and it isn't just a rape. They take a girl, 12 guys rape her a day, and torture her over that, and half of them don't come out alive. Now they tell me, why aren't these girls saying anything about it? Why don't we have names? Well, I've tried to get them to say something. Their fathers won't allow it. His honor, he doesn't want anyone to know his daughter's been raped. It's his right. This is the way we're living right now, and all the Arab countries are doing nothing about it. We're being killed every day, hit every day with missiles, and we're asking help from who? The UN and America and all other countries, because we know that the Arab countries won't help us. We know they're not going to do anything about it. We know they're waiting for the America and the European countries to give them the green light so they can help us in the end. And they won't help us on their own. We will never forget this. They're saying we've got 10,000 dead people in Syria. We've got over 60,000 people dead there. We have over 2,000 women raped all over Syria. I'm saying 800 only in Homs. This is the life we're living. But again, I'll say it, we're happy. At least underneath the bullets, underneath the missiles, we're free. We're free to do what we want to do. This is for freedom. Why would you be shot in Syria? Just say one word, I want freedom, you're dead. Just say, I want freedom. Just say, Bashar al-Assad, you're dead. You're captured, you're tortured. There has a statue in Homs, Bashar al-Assad. That was like 6 months ago. The security forces actually came to remove the statue so we don't break it down. They want to protect his father's statue, Hafiz al-Assad, so we don't break it down. What did all his loyalists do? You won't believe it. They did not let the security forces remove it. And they started bending down on their knees and going, Rabbi Hafiz. This is what we're doing right now in Syria. This is what's going on. People are saying, you have a sectarian war. All right. If you look back in all Syria's history, when have we ever had a sectarian war in Syria? Ever. Ever. I've been in America, England, all the European, France. all the mosques aren't allowed to do the prayer sound. They're allowed to do the azan, are they? But in Homs, we have the church allowed to do the billing, the mosques are doing the azan, and I haven't got a problem. See, I'm saying Christian and Syrian, I never used to say that in my life when I was in Syria. We were all Syrians, we never had this difference. This regime is trying to make it look like a sectarian war, like we are going to fight each other. This is not happening in Syria. Until now, it's not happening. Until now, this is not happening. And I will go back soon. This is my country. If we don't, and we have this belief right now that no one's going to help us except God and it's us. That's it. We actually have this belief no one is going to fear, and I actually believe this 100%. No one is going to help us. Why am I doing the media? Not so the other world, not so the world can help us. If it wasn't for the media, he would have killed, let's see, 500% more than he's killed right now. It's the media that's killed. He doesn't want the world to know the murders he's doing. Or the children he's killed. You can go on YouTube, let's look at the children he's killed. Look at what they looked like before they were dead, and look what they look like as bodies. Pieces. And all the Arab countries are doing nothing about this. Even the UN, even the Arab League, even the European countries. This is a crime against humanity, not from only our regime, from them too. Watch and stand in this going on. But in the end, what I do know is, we're going to win this. This regime would never stay in control. The only way he's going to stop this, we've actually sent this message to lots of the leaders of Bashar Assad's group, is nuke us. Kill us if nuke us. This is the only way to get rid of us. We will never stop. We can rape our family, we can kill our family, we will keep going out. I have a friend that's been shot 5 times. 5 times. Every bullet in every month. And he's still going out. He will never stop. I have a friend who's actually got shot through his cheek and came out of the lid. He was laughing. I've seen the Free Syrian Army fight there. They fight with a smile on their face. They don't care if they die or not. I've seen the Syrian Army fight us back. They're running like little girls and they're crying. So, the situation in Syria, believe me, is much worse than any of you think it is. Even me, as a Syrian, living there all my life, I don't know 40% about what's going on in Syria right now. I've talked to a guy from our intelligence forces who's still inside and helping us. He said we have over 90 mass graves all around Homs. And why am I speaking about all other areas in Syria? Because I'm originally from Homs, so I can't talk in any name. I don't know what's going on over there. I bet it's massacres just like Homs. But this is what I've seen. I've seen my friends die in demonstrations by bombs, gunshots, and they didn't have not one weapon in their hand. In the end, we have the saying we say in Arabic every time we demonstrate is al-maut wal al-mazalla. Death before dishonor. And we mean it from our hearts. It's either we live in freedom or we die. That's it. That's the end of the story. Finished. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for listening to much time.
Thank you, Dan. Are there questions for the brother?
I have a question.
All right.
First, can we give him a hand for the pain and suffering we have?
Please stand up. I'm not going to be able to extend the mic to you, but so please speak up loud.
Quick question. What can we do to help you personally and in general?
What I need is, what else was, what can you do to help us in general? We need you to spread the word. I'm telling you what's going on in Syria. Some people, not going to say some, lots of people, lots of the guys here, lots of the guys all around America don't know what's going on. Some guys are still watching us while the Syrian TV is putting on. What does the Syrian TV put on? That we're demonstrating to thank the God for the rain. That's what the Syrian TV says. What we need is your support, the movement of this government. We want government, I, as a Syrian citizen, I do not mind another country coming in with their military. Even if it's America, I'm not a traitor to my country. Bashar Assad's got Iranians there killing us. He has Hezbollah from Lebanon killing us. And I've witnessed it with my eyes. Hezbollah from Lebanon and Iranian, he's getting guys from outside his country to kill his own people. And the Russians are using the vetoes, giving him weapons. The Chinese are using the veto. We need to spread the word. We do not mind any kind of intervention to save lives. We do not want our kids to live like this. We have, there's no schools on, nearly half of Syria, no schools. They have been not going to schools for 6 months now. No education, no work. Our field hospital, we have 2 field hospitals in the area I was in. We had 4 doctors only. One of them was a dentist, and one of them actually is one of my friends. At the beginning of the revolution, he isn't even a doctor. He wasn't even a nurse. But he gave us his house so we could put the injured people there and stitch them up. So he left. When I got shot and left and came back to Syria after 4 months, he's doing operations. He's not even a doctor. We have only 4 doctors there helping us, that's it. So what we need is you to spread the word. We need the support for the guys on the ground. We cannot keep living like this. If it wasn't, we need the support from the outside. We need the support from the outside. That's it. Thank you.
Before we go on to the next question, I unfortunately have to make an announcement. There are 3 cars that need to be removed. There's a medical situation outside, and someone who has to go to the hospital cannot get out. It's a Honda, a blue Honda minivan, a Mercury minivan that's green, and a Nissan Pathfinder. There are free spots available for these cars, but if you're the owner of any of these cars, please move. Are there any other questions?
Thank you so much for your service.
You're welcome.
I just have a question for you that really boggles my mind, and I'm having trouble understanding what it is. You talk about these die-hard loyalists, these small group of people who would actually bow down to the Assad statue. Now, do we have any idea who these people are? What are their numbers? What is the relationship to the regime and to the government? And just the general idea of who they are and where they come from and responsibilities.
Okay. But before I start this is not a sectarian war. You have to remember this and put this in mind. Because it's a bit hard to get and focus on this idea if I'm going to talk about this. Bashar Assad is an Alawite. You know what that is, right? Most of his loyalists are all Alawites. Once we started this revolution, he gave them all these papers. He made this huge political thing that we're in a huge Islamic movement. We're going to, how did you say, push all the Alawites and all the Christians in Syria. He used to give them papers in hands. Send the security forces to all the Alawites and the Christians and give them this paper that Bandar bin Sultan from Saudi is giving us money to demonstrate and he wants to take over Syria. Most of them believed it. And this is how it started. Most of them started as a word we call Shabih. Shabih he isn't an army, he isn't a security force, but he has a weapon given by the government, and they give them cars, they give them bombs, nail bombs, grenades, and they will be sent to kill demonstrators. This is what's been going on, and it's getting larger and larger and larger. This is the biggest it's got right now. They are about 6-7% of the population. This is how big they are, but not all of them are with the regime. As I said, This is not a sectarian war. We are in war with the regime itself. So I'm not going to talk on all their part. Most of them are with the regime. That doesn't mean all of them are with the regime. Any more questions?
Pass it to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Asad Arif. I'm best friend with his dad, and that's how we got Danny and his mother to come to the U.S. I belong to an organization called Syrian Americans for Democracy that sponsored his trip. One thing I was going to talk about, and mashallah, I see the number of the, is it too close?
But that's right. Thank you.
MashaAllah, I see the sisters are outnumbering our brothers. And that brought to mind his mother. Sister Helen Abdel, she is a British revert to Islam. She was Christian, she reverted to Islam. Last week on Monday, we had some appointments in Washington, D.C., and I was sitting in the car, and Danny and his mom standing outside, and I hear this mother-son conversation which I found unusual. Danny would tell his mother, "Mom, now when I die, I want you to give this to such person, this to such person." He's telling his mother, and the mom is like, it's like their usual conversation. "Well, Danny, don't be silly. Once you die, then we'll talk about it." Subhanallah, we laugh, but imagine yourself, sisters and brothers, imagine yourself talking to your son that this child of yours that is the most dear to you could any minute now could walk out of the house, you never seen him. Just imagine it. I mean, kids that we love the most precious thing to us. So I'm like, I could not help it, and I got out of the car, I'm like, "Sister Helen, please. I mean, you as a mother, some other mothers, they might say, you're nuts. You just letting your son like that go." She goes, "Brother Asad, I've learned to submit to the will of Allah. I've learned to accept." Meaning, this child of mine, he wants to go. He's stubborn, and I do agree with her. Sorry, Danny. If he has something in mind, he has to do it. She goes, which is better, to just let him go without my blessing or with my blessings? And that right there, it tells me that even this child, if he did not have a supporting and believing true Muslim mother, probably wouldn't be that way. You know, most mothers would say, "You crazy? Let those big guys out there, you know, the 40 over years old, let them handle it. It's not you." But yet, most of the mothers in homes, wallahi, I was in Turkey, at the border, I was one of those refugee camps. And this sister comes to me, I have a video on her, and I shot it. She has 10 children, had. 3 of them became martyrs. They were killed by the Syrian regime. She comes to me and she goes, "Brother, you see, I have 10, I had 10, lost 3, now I have 7. You see these 2 young ones? She had one like 18, the other one about, they both less than 20 years old. She goes, "These 2 are going now on a special mission into the Syrian border. They're going inside. I don't know if they're coming." She goes, "Brother, I am willing to give up all my kids just for our dignity and freedom." These are the true mothers of Syria. And this is the story you don't hear on CNN or you don't see in many places in the media. So I'm here to stand humble and pay special tribute to my sister Helen Abdel and all the Syrian mothers out there. Let's hear for them. I thank you, brothers and sisters. And if you need more information, some of you, we have a website. It's called Syrian Americans for Democracy, and it's even on Facebook, so you could follow all Danny's story. Inshallah, we have a documentary about his visit to the U.S. Barakallahu bikum wa assalamu alaikum.
I'd like to introduce a sister here who's from Boston, from the Quran Foundation. And this leads right into what you all asked earlier, how can you help?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'm Syrian American and I work with a charity organization who is serving the humanitarian crisis in Syria. That means I'm going to talk about the painful part of this event. I'm also from the city of Homs, like Danny, and I repeat with all proud Syrians, we love our country so much, land and sand, but most probably and most importantly, the amazing Syrian people. Syrians are well known for their patience, deep respect to their religion, and love to education. But nowadays, they are well known for their great sacrifices and great willing to die and pay the ultimate price to attain justice and freedom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala justified. And we ask all our Muslim brothers and sisters to support us to achieve it. We work with a group inside Homs, a humanitarian group of physicians and scholars, young society members like Danny and his friends, who are working day and night and who are ready to die to deliver all your donations and sadaqahs to the people who need it. We have 23,000 families in Homs who need to be provided with food and daily needs. 60,000 injured who are waiting for you to pay for their operations in order not to end up with permanent disabilities. I have an aunt and an uncle in Syria, in Homs, who lost everything. Their house is bombed, their cars are broken, their money and jewelry are all stolen. And I talked to them yesterday and they told me that they never regret it. They told me that this is the least gift they can offer this blessed revolution. They told me that we are ready to die for this. People's right to any kind of ownership is hijacked. Even self-ownership of their bodies. Imagine your body can be killed or tortured at any moment if you try to act upon your values and principles. I ask every Muslim to take an action. Your action will make a difference. And our unity together can be the Moses stick that will end the pharaohs. Please, we have boxes outside. Try to donate with the maximum amount you can and show the Syrian people how much you care. Thank you so much.
Are there any other questions? All right.
Anything, military, it's supposed to be military. I've been asking for 1 month now to all the Arab countries, the UN, America, to arm the Free Syrian Army. They need weapons to fight for their country. Where are they going to get their weapons from? We have over 700 in Turkey waiting for weapons. In Egypt, all over Syria, they don't have any weapons. Now, I don't think they're going to give us the weapons. We don't mind any army intervention. If they come with the armies, we don't mind it. We want no-fly zone. We want free zones. Any kind of help, which they have not given us anything. Until now, it's been a year on this revolution. 1 whole year. And they haven't given us anything. This is why we've actually lost hope. No one's going to help us. Even if they do say they're going to help us, I don't believe them anymore. Even the Arab countries. You're welcome.
Is anyone else? Stand up, Andrew.
All right. Before I answer this question, you know the population in Syria, 80% of the population is Sunni. in Syria. So most of the defections are going to be all Sunni. The defections are nearly 90% Sunni and 10% Christians. Because a big number of the army are Sunnis. We don't have lots of Christians in the army for them to defect. Yes, again, we have 80% Sunni in Syria, which are all going out nearly in Syrian demonstrations. They won't torture any Christians, because if they do, they will show the Christians that we're against you too. They have actually caught a couple of Christians once, and they hit them around and smacked them around a bit. Then they told them, oh, I didn't know he was Christian, he was a Christian out of the day. Salam.
Next time we watching the whole uprising in our country, and I believe that Syria was the worst one. My question is about what's the possibility that the Syrian army could win the battle against Bashar? And as you mentioned, it's not Bashar regime, it's Iran regime and Hezbollah and all the Arab leaders of countries. Most of them are with the regime. So what's the possibility that they could win the battle against it?
Let me give you this little thing that I witnessed in my own eye. I was there for 40 days in Baba. We have like 1,300 troops in Baba. They faced 20,000 troops from the regime with 100 tanks, and over that, 500 missiles from rocket launchers on the area a day. We have 20 to 25 from the Free Syrian Army dead, and over 3,000 from the Syrian Army dead, and 40 tanks. So you can do the calculation. Look, we have the belief we will die. If the Free Syrian Army dies, there are more worries after him. If one guy dies, 2 rise.
A big rally that's there in the United States.
Is that?
A rally.
Yeah, next week. Oh, it's next week?
Oh, no, the one DC.
17th of Washington.
Well, there's a big rally in DC on Washington the 17th for Syria. If anyone wants to know if they want to demonstrate, there's one in DC and Washington on the 17th.
And there's one tomorrow.
And there's a rally tomorrow. But the big one is going to be on the 17th, because that will be the day that we started our revolution. That will be that we made it a year, the 1 year anniversary. Yeah, I think there's going to be a rally.
Yes.
Yes. I didn't understand the question.
He wants to know, can there be a peaceful way to end this war?
No, no peaceful way. Because we know this regime, it will not, I'm a Syrian, I know my regime, I know my president, they will not leave peacefully. He will fight to the end. Look, it's like a cat when you put it in a corner, what would it do? It's going to keep scratching you and hitting you. They won't leave peacefully. It's not him. We haven't got one president. It's a whole family ruling that Syria. It's like a big backyard.
Speak up, louder.
No. It's a long question.
Right.
Okay, this has certainly sparked some questions. All right, sister, you have one?
Listo.
I want to repeat what the sister said. There will be a rally tomorrow in Copley Square from 1 to 4.
Yes, she's his wife. Not because we're 80% of the population of Sunni means 80% of us are good and against the government. Not every single family is clean. Every family has a guy that's bad. His father's a murderer. His father's a murderer, and he taught to be like that, and he's been taught like that all his life. As a child, he's been brought up like that. So he's been spoiled all his life. He's been treated like a prison from, and it's not just him. It's his brother Maher Assad, and it's a whole family. Do you know how the elections are in Syria? I still remember the last election. No, I still remember you go in the big schools and that, they got the boxes, right? You said you can say yes or no, right? And behind the box is like a 200-kilo man waiting for you to say no so you can whack you and take you to prison. So you're going to have to put yes and right. Yeah, say hello, put yes and prison. And even if it's not just me, I can say my whole family is with me. He'll give me all his 5 other cards. You can write it for your family, but yes for family too. No. No one watches it, no.
Okay, we'll take 2 more, all right? One here.
Has there been a congressional hearing? Have you guys been able to reach any congressmen or senators so far?
Yes. Right, I had a meeting with Senator Joe Lieberman. What he told me is we will not give you the weapons. We know they won't trust us with the weapons because of all the conspiracy that we will use the weapons in the future against Israel and Lebanon. This is not going to happen if they do give us the weapons, right? What he said was, we will interfere soon. He didn't tell me if it's by air or by ground. But again, it's all talk. We haven't seen actions until now for a whole year.
We can write to them. We can write to our senators and congressmen, all of us here.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask that we all write our congressman.
Right.
And I'm going to reiterate here that everyone here should be registered to vote. All right? We have a sister over here. Yes.
No, we don't have the same problem won't come up again. See, the problem came in with his family, with his father. If you read the Syria's history, in the 1950s and the 60s, we had democracy there. It was elected, actually, we had democracy more than any city in the world, more than any country in the world. When he took over, he didn't want any of it. Did you know that Ikhwan Muslimin and Salafi, they catch one of them in Syria, he is, what's that done? Executed. For 40 years. There's a law for it. A law. You're not allowed to be Ikhwan Muslimin or Salafi in Syria or you're executed. A Muslim Brotherhood. You're executed if you're a Muslim Brotherhood or a Salafi. That's the law in our country. When we had uprising in the 1980s against him, we didn't have media. So he killed 60,000 people in Hama. Even other cities in Syria didn't know what's going on. If another army comes in, look, we've learned our lessons. as I said, we all become brothers, we all love each other. This problem will not happen again. There will be elections, there will be democracy. A president will take his place elected by his people, not by force, like his father took the place by force, and he took his place by force.
I want to make some announcements, and then we're going to have one last question. For the rally in D.C. on the 17th, there will be free transportation. If you want information about how to go to the rally in D.C. on the 17th, please go back to the table in the back. Information will be given. Also, we are passing around boxes for those who want to make financial support. And if you'd like to write a check or give a credit card, you can go to the back table and take care of that. So we're going to have one last question.
Remember what the Quran says about shame, knowing that men shed blood, kill each other. If you know how war is, it's madness. It's madness. All sides use it if they don't have self-control. And one thing that's very important to remember is that the elements who want to fill the vacuum, once the disorder is created and fomented and stimulated, and they feed all sides with the same weapons, and they give weapons to all sides. So they
Yellow, do you have a question?
Remember that the enemy of Islam wants the humanity who is oppressed to bleed themselves to death.
Thank you.
And the elements who are using a thing called low-intensity warfare to win the battle and destroy people all over the world so they can come with their exploitative systems.
Thank you, Abdullah.
That's happening in the Muslim world.
All right, like I said, we're going to end on one last question. Sister, do you have a question?
Okay, when it comes... All the cities are standing together. See, but we have something that's Damascus, which is a capital. How do you kill a snake? You hold a snake by its head. The head of Syria is Damascus. He's got most of the army there, most of the security forces there. That's why people can't move. But all of the cities, what's going on in them, exactly what's going on in Homs. But why is the media on Homs? Because we've got the strongest media coming out. We learn how to get the media out. We've got satellite internets, Beygans. Beygans is live transmission. We've got big cameras. We've taught people how to talk on news channels. This is why the media is focused on Homs. All the other cities is going on exactly what is going on in Homs, and they're all uprising, all of them.
Again, Danny, I want to thank you. Continue your struggle in your prayers, and hopefully our money will be with you. Assalamu alaikum.